Zeg maar den stok. Zeg maar den stok.
While Gongo was flying from Tanzania, Phyllis and I drove to Newcastle for the 5 p.m. ferry to Amsterdam. But would you believe it? Phyllis forgot her passport, so we returned to Glasgow, organised a flight to Amsterdam to arrive by 9 a.m. the following morning.
Oh well, Eddy, this is us. 24 hours, we've been travelling for 24 hours solid, making an attempt to get to Gongo. We've been on planes, trains, boats, everything but air balloons. But nothing will stop us getting to Gongo, because Gongo has landed in Amsterdam, and that's where we're going right now. This is your birthday today. Happy birthday, baby boy. Okay, look. This is Gongo's birthday, the 5th of October. And when he comes home, we'll get him a nice cake. Okay? Good boy.
After flying with Gongo from Tanzania, I had the opportunity to have an exclusive interview with Sandra Klegelhofer from Mbwa Wa Africa Animal Rescue.
I'm Sandra. Originally from Germany. I'm living in Tanzania and running an animal rescue, especially for dogs, Mbwa Wa Africa, which means dogs of Africa.
Did you just say, I'm going to leave school, I'm going to Africa, and I'm going to look after animals?
No, not at all. I was born with this love for dogs. When my mother saying I couldn't even walk, I was crawling to every dog I saw. So I always loved dogs. My husband Jens and me, we love traveling, so we traveled by car, and we didn't even want to go to Africa. And long story, we ended up in Tanzania after 15 months, and it's 13 years ago, and ever since we are there. And over the years we rescued a lot of dogs. We had 10 dogs in our very tiny house, and 3 puppies, so that was too many, so we said we will build a couple of kennels and for our dogs we find. But then people knew about us, and we started the company, and ever since it's growing. It's 3.5 years now.
How do you come across the dogs?
We find them on the road ourselves. If you go to town, you will find a dog at the roadside. And of course we advertise because we want to adopt our dogs out again, so everybody knows us by now, and we get a lot of calls, here's a dog, or very often there are puppies which are abandoned or the mother died. That's the hardest part of all. Finding a good home is the hardest part.
And you find it mainly in Africa you find homes, or is it international?
It's mainly in Africa, of course, because I will not just send a dog to Europe or somewhere when I don't know where they end up. There must be people I know.
I'm Anna. This is a little bit about how we found Gongo. I was going to have my haircut, passing by Makumira. I saw him on the road and I normally look out for dogs on the street. So I saw him and he looked like he had a little bit of a problem. He was trying to cross the road, a little bit struggling. So I looked a second time and I noticed that one of his legs had a problem. Like it looked very red and like, I don't know how to actually describe it, but it didn't look okay. So I looked the second time and I kind of like moved on, because first of all I didn't like what I saw, and I went, I had my haircut, I came back and I spoke to a lady from one of the stalls, not very far from where Gongo was lying, and she told me that he had his leg cut off. Somebody from around the area must have cut his leg, no idea really why. And after a while she said that some people from around the area got hold of him, cut off the piece of leg that was sort of like hanging, and then that was him on the side of the street, and he would struggle moving from one place to the other. So I got that information, I went home, I called Jens, told him about it, to see how he could help and if there was anything we could do to help this dog.
On the 14th of March we got a call from Anne, a friend of us who was living between Usa and Arusha, that she saw a dog with a cut-off leg. So Anne, who is also a dog lover, but she is not really sure how to approach strange dogs, and then she called us at Mbwa Wa Africa to help her catching this dog. After the amputation it was nice to see how good dogs actually can cope with 3 legs only, especially if it's only the hind leg. You have the feeling they are happy that the pain is gone, and it's amazing always to see how fast they adopt and how fast he got friends with all the other dogs. Getting Gongo over to Scotland was actually quite a challenge, because despite being in the European Union, the regulations are more difficult, and so at the end we decided to fly him over to Amsterdam. Leaving the shelter was also sad to see, but we had been happy about his new home. If you saw him, we have a so-called airlock gate so the dogs can't escape, and his doggy friends had been sniffing through the fence, and then he was a little bit hesitating of going with us, leaving his mates behind. But yeah, it's good. It's always good to leave a dog with a sad heart, but knowing that he's going into a good home.
Gongo has a lot of dental work needing done, unfortunately, during his deliberate act of cruelty. We're not quite sure what happened to his mouth, but what we do know is that he is suffering from toothache. So we need to get this done as a matter of urgency, and this is one of his areas of concern. If you have a look at that, it's really giving him a lot of problems. He can only eat very soft food at the moment because he is in pain, and at the front here you can see some of his teeth have actually been knocked out. So we need to find out if basically what medical treatment is required, but what we do know is that he's in pain and we need to stop that.
And we encounter another major problem. We needed a vet appointment. So Sandra contacts Dutch friends who rescue our plans by taking us to a local vet surgery for the much needed vet passport, or we can't leave Holland.
This is us outside a vet in Amsterdam. Gongo needs a European pet passport before they'll let him on the ferry. So we've literally got a couple of hours to sort out his paperwork with regards to a passport, because in Africa they don't issue passports for dogs. It's just not heard of. So hopefully this nice vet is going to give Gongo his European passport, and then we'll show him a little bit of Amsterdam and head to the ferry.
As you can probably tell by Phyllis's expression, all did not go well when we first met the vet in Amsterdam. The worming treatment did not fit within the UK legislation by 24 hours. We actually paid for another worming treatment in Amsterdam to cancel out the Tanzanian worming to resolve the problem, only to discover we had to wait another 24 hours to meet legislation. But our ferry was booked for that afternoon. And to add to our woes, although Gongo's rabies vaccination had been administered in Tanzania, the Amsterdam vet pointed out that it might not be accepted by the ferry companies, as it hadn't been signed off in Tanzania. And after lengthy checks and discussions with the Dutch vet, our Amsterdam friends invited us for our lunch to think over our plans for boarding the ferry and a quick sightseeing tour around Amsterdam. Another fun over in Amsterdam, and it's time to board the ferry for Newcastle, but we encounter another problem.
Okay, this is our last day in Amsterdam. It's part of Gongo's journey to take him back to Scotland, but let's see what we can do at the customs, and we'll keep you updated with what's happening next. Wish us luck. Fingers crossed for Gongo.
And would you believe it? We discovered that our return passage was cancelled, and after lengthy negotiations, the ferry company kindly set us up with a berth and Gongo's dog hotel accommodation.
Right now we're at the ferry port in Amsterdam on the final leg of our journey with Gongo. To say it has been challenged greatly is an underestimate, because it really has been one challenge after another in many ways, to do with documentation of Gongo's travel, their understanding of travel situation in Tanzania as opposed to Holland, as opposed to the United Kingdom. But thankfully, after a long time of speaking to DFDS ferry staff, we are now heading for Newcastle from Amsterdam, and there we get Gongo up the road to Scotland. So we can officially say very soon, tomorrow morning, Gongo will have landed. So here's to Gongo.
And after 15 hours in the ferry, we finally reached UK shores, and a 3-hour drive back to Glasgow.
Well, at last, this is the second last leg of our journey. Gongo has landed in Newcastle, and now we're going to take the car to Scotland, and Gongo's going to be home. So Gongo has almost landed. Very soon, we'll let you know when he reaches Scotland.
We finally arrive in Glasgow and take Gongo for his first walk in Scottish soil at Rookin Glen Park and meet his new sisters. But unfortunately, this is not the end of Gongo's journey. He has to have further vet checks on his teeth and leg. So it's off to Taylor's Vet Surgery, Glasgow, to meet VS Bill Kennedy.
What happened with his leg exactly?
Someone chopped it off with a panga.
That's these big kind of long blades
like
type things.
Kind of machetes.
Yeah.
Someone phoned the rescue, Mbwa Wa Africa, and they came to the rescue, and I think it took them 24 hours to actually manage to get hold of them. They eventually got them to their vets in Tanzania, and they amputated the leg.
It feels comfortable. I mean, the bone's just a wee bit exposed, so you can see the bones.
Yeah, I can see that moving about quite a bit.
I mean, the problem is you'll probably be lying in that and just feeling a wee bit uncomfortable.
It gets quite red.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you've got there is just the skin and then the bone just underneath it. Normally you just want more the muscle volume covering over that, just to act as a big cushion, basically. But the last thing you'd want to do is go in there and do anything else after what he's been through.
And his teeth are broken and, you know, in a bad state. In fact, his front top ones have been knocked out.
That will be dragging him down as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that will be painful. Yeah, he's lost some of his front teeth. This will definitely need to be taken away, and we'll take away that broken tooth there as well, and any roots that might still be in there. But yeah, poor wee guy. He's been through a lot.
And it's a huge thanks to Glasgow's super vet, Bill Kennedy of Taylor's Vet Surgery, for his continued support, which included Gongo's reconstructive jaw surgery, which was given as a donation.
Well, at last, that is as Gongo has officially landed. That is the last leg of the journey from Africa. He's arrived home in Glasgow, and this is his sister Eva, who has been very nice to him, and so has Sophie. If you can see her there, she's just chilling at the moment. So we've all had a nice walk in the park together, and now we're going to have something to eat. But Gongo, I'm sure, is very tired after his long journey. So to everybody who's contributed, thank you very, very much. And Gongo, I have to say, has become quite a celebrity, and it's our privilege to welcome him into our family. So onwards and upwards, Gongo. He has officially landed.
Kama shamba nililima, wendo vuno na kuvuna. Niye sijoi tatu, moyo mekutunuku, tulishi kwa buku. Niye kwa kozumukuku, sema na thubutu, siwezi kukwacha na kupenda. Wenida wamekidonda, ikubia wanigonja, sumofini mikukonda. You must strawberry. Pendo ninao shida sina, naomba nipende. Nitalea watoto kila uzazi, wako na mie. Sikupambi kwa noti, nikuvae shingoni.
My name's David. I've known Phyllis for 36 years. In that time, I've always been struck by her passion, her ability to care, and her great sense of justice. This has carried her through her entire life, and she has a great passion and love for animals. Hope everyone has enjoyed this film, and would ask you to support the work of Mbwa Wa Africa. We have a spay neuter programme, an education programme, and we're hoping to build an animal clinic. So please, once again, please give generously, give with your heart, all you can. Thank you for your support.
Nipende mrembo, sikuongi mjengo, na stori za magendo, ili waharibu mwenendo.